anyone have any objection at 6:02 to get it started? And then you can start recording the meeting. And as people come on, Greg, if you'd sort of mention their name so people know that just, you know, welcome whoever, right where we are at that point in time. And that's how we can let the public know that they joined us.
Okay.
So let me just, so I'll call this meeting to order at 6:03. And I just want to begin by thanking everyone for staying with us through all these Zoom meetings after our 4 in-person meetings to get through where we are today. This is sort of the end of the, well, it's the end of the fiscal year for school districts, and we'll be on hiatus for a short time before we pick up and really start moving forward again.
Hey, Mark.
So why don't we do a roll call, Greg?
Yeah, give me just one second here. Bill, looks like Bill Toom just entered, and it looks like
I
Paul.
see Deb Pote is coming on.
Yeah.
Paul's coming on.
Yeah.
I don't see Bill.
Bill's coming. He's not quite there yet. Says he's.
Oh, you're just
Hey,
inviting.
just a quick note to everyone that the Zoom meetings, the 40-minute limit is in effect now. So we'll give you a heads up when, I mean, I'll get a notification when it looks like it's going to be, you know, 5 or 10 minutes. And then we'll take a break and then log back on. So you just log back on to the same meeting.
Okay, thanks, Greg.
So we just go click back on it.
Yeah,
Your invitation. It comes.
Yeah, sorry. You know, I mean, unless we start paying for it.
I'd much rather that, because the last one locked up my computer for a couple days and I couldn't close it. I powered it down, did everything, came back, and it was still locked up. So, okay, Bill has joined us. So let's, we've got a pretty good quorum. Go ahead.
Yeah, we got it.
Great.
So I will run through the list. So Pat, looks like Pat Shearer is here.
Yep.
Deb Pote's here.
Yep.
Raina's here.
Yes.
Deb Loomer's here.
Yep.
Bill's here.
Yes.
Mike Naughton.
Yep.
Lynn is here. Alan.
Yes.
Let's see. Do we have is Abby Pratt here?
Not yet.
Okay. And Lance is not here yet either. And neither is Steve. Okay. So we have no one here from Leiden yet. Michelle is here.
Right.
Yep.
Renee is here.
Yes.
And Jane is here.
Yes.
Is Jennifer here? Eichhorn? Oh, okay.
No.
Okay.
So we also have with us Mark,
Paul,
Paul, and Jay.
Paul and Jay. Yes.
Okay, perfect. Are we all set to approve the, anyone want to make a motion to approve the May 22nd meeting minutes?
Also move. Second.
Lynn?
Who seconded?
Who seconded Lynn's motion?
I think it was Jane.
Jane, thank you. Any discussion? All in favor, can you give me a thumbs up, and then I'll just see if, okay, let the record show that was unanimous. And we're going to go down to consultants updates, and we're going to go down to the financial update with Mark, if that's okay. Mark, you all set?
Thank you. Nice to be with you this evening. I only have a few minutes. I thought the meeting was at 4, and I have another meeting after this. 2 updates for you. Number 1, financial. Last week I've been working with Tanya, coming up with the 5-year fiscal forecast. We are probably 95% through it. I'm expecting another conversation subcommittee finance meeting this coming Tuesday. That's my hope. In Excel, not PowerPoint. I know you guys want to play with it. So that's one update for you. The second is we prepared a draft outline of the report table of contents. And I sent it to Greg, who will send it out to you. And I can just preview it for you. Greg, you want to let me share, or do you
Sure.
want to bring it up and,
You should be able to share
okay?
your screen. Just go down to share screen.
Nope, host disabled participant screen sharing.
Really? Well, I'm going to have to change that. I'll make you host. You can make me host back when you're done.
I am the host now.
Gotta love it.
All right, I'm just going to go to Word and hopefully you'll see this. There we are.
Oh, there's Deb. I can see her. Hi.
Can you see this?
Not yet.
Hit share. Did you hit share screen?
I did 3 times,
Hmm.
but it's not responding. Oh, there we go. There we go.
There you go.
How's that?
Nice.
Big enough?
Thank you.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yes.
All right, so this is a draft table of contents of the structure of the report, beginning with an introduction, the scope of the study, and the 3 main areas are C, D, and E. The facility reports for both Pioneer and Turner Falls High School, and the middle schools, and then the educational facilities and programs, combining the high school, combining the middle school, beginning with the interviews we conducted, most remotely, and then the combined programs for 1 middle school, 1 high school, and with that, some thoughts of the non-financial, political, cultural, and governance issues that was part of the RFP. The financial composes of the baseline for Gil Montague and Pioneer. And you've seen the baseline for Gil Montague earlier. The financial projection, the year look, both Montague and Pioneer. And then the RFP called for what does it look like if the 2 districts do not regionalize? That's really the do nothing scenario. What does a combined central office look like? What does the merging of the teachers' contracts and health insurance look like? And D is loaded. It's the impact on assessments. But to get to the impact of assessments, we come back up to here for what the combined middle and high schools are going to look like, along with the elementaries, put that into a regional budget, and then from the regional budget, look at the assessments and any operational efficiencies that come out of that. And that translates into Part E, the projected cost savings with a single middle school and a single high school. From there, Part F deals with our recommendations for the steps toward regionalization. G, some of the concerns that we will be sharing with you relative to either finance or educational programming. And then we're going to summarize and conclude. In several appendices, the NESDEC enrollment, the student enrollment information, the profiles from DESE, Mars pathway to regionalization, which are the steps toward regionalization in Part F, That will be as an appendix. The capacity tools that we issued to both Pioneer and Gil Montague that have completed those tools and sent them back to us. And then financial data. And you know I've got a ton of financial data to put into those, into that appendice.
Are the capacity tools, all of the links that you have, is that what you're referring to? Or is there another addendum that will come that will include like a reference of all the sites that we can go see information on?
Well, we've given you a lot of those sites already. We haven't talked about where is the logical point to put the websites in. Do we put it into the body of the report? Do we put it into the appendice, or do we create another appendice that lists all of the links?
I think that'd be the easiest, just have an addendum at the end with all of the, links as if we were doing a case study.
Okay.
But looks like Deb has a question, comment?
Yeah, just up under the facilities. It probably would be more accurate if you put Turners Falls High School / Great Falls Middle School, since they are two separate names. If you only put
That's
Turners
true.
Falls High
Yep.
School, it doesn't address the facilities that the middle school has, so.
Good point. Thank you.
Looks good.
We think it addresses all the points in the RFP.
Mm-hmm.
I have a
So when you
question
do
on the,
go ahead, Mike.
just a question on the appendix for the financial information, or the financial data. I guess my feeling is that we don't need a lot of printed pages for that. I mean, I'm not sure what form we're going to get this in. We've gotten PowerPoints and PDFs in the past, but I'm not, I'm just sort of throwing this out. I don't want you guys, the consultants, to go to a lot of extra work. If we're told financial data is in these spreadsheets, and we get several spreadsheets, that would be fine with me, with maybe a note in the appendix of saying, if you're looking for, whatever, budget information, look here. If you're looking for expenditures, look there. If you're looking for, whatever it is. I'm just not sure how you're expecting to present this.
Mike, let me just.
I wanted to save you some work if I could.
Responding aloud would be the answer as to what goes into the appendix for financial data is dependent on what goes into the report. So it's either going to be in the report or in the financial data appendix, one way or the other. But as we've talked about, we've given you a lot of financial data, and you've got more coming with these 5-year projections. And the question I have to the board is, how much is enough? And you can't answer that until you see everything. So it's just it's a question that we can discuss at the Finance Committee meeting next week. In addition, we've had 0 feedback from the Finance Subcommittee with the enrollment data and the financial data that we have sent you previously.
Well, I think you haven't exactly had 0 feedback.
That's true.
And I agree. Until we see what we're going to get, it's a little hard to react and say either that's great, that's exactly what we're looking for, or gee, we'd like to see something else.
All right, any questions on the outline?
No, it looks good. I guess I'm making an assumption, and maybe I shouldn't, that there would be a hard copy of this available at each in each town hall and in each school district, so that the general public doesn't have to get online and be hunting and pecking around for this. I mean, we'd also can have it online, but I'm making the assumption that there's, you know, a base report that's available at each town hall. Maybe we produce it, or the Gil Montague produces it with some of the funds as we wind things down. I'm not sure what you're planning on that, Mike. But, I mean, Mark, I can't see you, so if you're there, you could respond.
I'm here. So I can take down this, then you could see me.
Oh, okay. Now I can.
Okay,
There we go.
there we are.
Yep, perfect.
We'll discuss that and get back to you. We really haven't discussed that yet.
Okay. So now that I can see everybody, people have any questions or comments? Things you're looking for, or? So it sounds like you're back on track for, if things get, you finish that up on Monday, then let's see, that's what, the 20th? Sounds like you're a pretty good target as you move to the June 30th benchmark.
Yeah, it looks comprehensive.
We're getting close. We are.
Good. All right, I know Mark has another meeting, so I'm gonna let him go unless people have other questions for him.
Before he goes, can you just pass the host back to me, if you would, please?
Yeah, and Mark, before you go, see, Lance isn't with us, but the Finance Committee had a meeting, and for a various reason, it didn't occur. So they probably would have, been looking at and talking about this information. Mike, do you have a sense of when the Finance Committee will be meeting again?
Yeah, we have a
Or-
meeting set up for next Tuesday.
Does Mark know that?
I do, and I've requested that it be pushed back to 4:30 as I got a conflict at 3:30.
That's okay.
Greg,
with
how do I shift this back to you?
In my, yeah, it looked like you were looking around for it. My screen, if you look at my screen, put the cursor over it, and there'll be 3 little dots up in the right corner.
I gotta find you first. There you are. Yep.
And then press the 3 little dots, and then make me the host. That just doesn't sound right, but
You are the host.
all right, excellent.
Okay, so Mark has requested a 4:30 meeting. How do members of the Finance Committee feel about that?
That's fine.
You okay with that, Mike?
That's fine.
That works for me. Did you must have requested that to Lance directly?
Greg,
Yeah, he sent it to me. I just received it. I'll pass it on to Lance. I think.
Okay.
So,
So
I kind of expected he would be here, but he's not. So I'll make sure I send out an email to him.
So Len said okay with her. Mike said okay with him. Who else is on? Is Bill on that? Who else is on that?
I am
Uh,
Jane, and it's okay with me.
Jane?
But
Okay
I
with
didn't
you?
get the notice about Tuesday. I'm looking in my junk mail to see if it's there.
Okay.
Lance
Is
is,
Michelle on that? Michelle, you're muted. Are you on that?
no,
No, okay.
No, but David
Who are we
is.
missing?
David.
David.
Oh, okay. So make
Oh,
sure
Alan.
he knows about that.
Alan, you mentioned earlier, did I have any updates on the state budget?
Yes,
The answer is none. No update at all.
okay.
And just one other comment, that regional school districts for years have had the statute providing for a 1/12 budget. Municipalities have never had that statute. And so this is a first go around at DLS for a 1/12 budget.
Oh,
They're
interesting.
turning them around really fast.
They are,
Yeah.
they are. I mean, the workload that DLS has assumed over the last 8 weeks or 12 weeks with COVID-19, getting 8 bulletins out, handling the 1/12 budgets, to me has been remarkable.
Yeah. I agree.
All right, anything else?
No,
Me?
thank you for that update.
Thanks, Mark.
All
All
right,
right, so Mark,
Good evening.
hopefully they'll be seeing you at 4:30 on Tuesday, the
Lance,
21st.
Lance just arrived. Lance, is that okay for you?
Yeah,
To push the meeting back on Tuesday to 4:30 instead of 3:30?
yeah, that's fine.
Okay, all right. we're
Thank
good. Thanks.
All right, thanks, Mark. All right, so let's go to, so we have Paul with us and Jay with us. So I guess perhaps as a tag team, the educational programming update.
Yeah, so I mean, Mark outlined this pretty well, Alan. The report is coming together, and we are doing final edits on this. There really isn't anything that's drastically new. It's a case of making sure that the report has the components in it that you need. So there is a section on the combined high school scenario, and there is a section on the combined middle school scenario. We've provided the financial data that Mark needs to build his projection. And, you know, obviously we've made some assumptions about how to staff those schools and those programs. We can talk about that later. It's not quite finished yet. There is going to be a statement about the non-financial costs and benefits of merging the two districts. So some comments about how the towns are different, how they're the same, what some of the issues are, what some of the governance questions are that the planning board is going to have to respond to in the future. So that's about where we are. Nothing really new. It's just that we're plowing into the final edits and getting it ready for you.
Okay, I see that Abby joined us. Did she just join us now? Yep. So Greg, can you record that we've got 14 people now, I believe. Did I miss anyone and Lance came on, so you've already noted that. So Jay, is that possible? Could you send your draft form and Paul to the education subcommittee so they can take a peek at it and give you any feedback?
Let me, I think I'd like to talk to the whole group about that, Alan, before we did that. I mean, right now we're trying to rush to get the whole report together. Certainly, getting some feedback from the education subcommittee is a good idea. I just don't want to, I have a little bit of a question about sending out parts of the report before we've put it all together. But we can certainly talk to that committee and get some suggestions about things they'd like to add or change or whatever.
Yeah, well, I mean, even if you did it in 2 parts, I'm, you know, everyone would understand it's you know, it ends up as a holistic report. And right now, if you have a section that's sort of, you know, some sections that sort of stand alone, that would be helpful to them because it probably be more digestible for them to look at that, give comments on that, and then get you know, the next pieces or.
Yep.
So
Okay, well, we'll talk
please
about
have that
that.
conversation.
You bet. We'll talk
And
about that.
yeah, thank you. Thank you. So now that I can see everyone, how about the education? Paul, do you have anything you want to add to that?
Only to agree with Jay. We had our meeting this morning and Mark asked us to expand on some of our narrative, which Jay and I have been working on. We send everything to one of our members who does all the editing. So right now, a lot of that stuff is at that person's desk. And, we'll be getting it all back. We hope. I know Mark set some dates, Jay. I can't remember if what was it, Tuesday next week? I can't remember, but
Well, Tuesday's when the finance subcommittee meeting is happening, and so I don't know. I've lost track of the date of the education subcommittee meeting. When are they meeting next, Alan?
Deb,
We don't,
I can't hear you.
We did not set a time for the meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you were waiting to see when you could get information to review, and as I recall, and
Yeah.
so
I
you
wanted to
held
wait
off
for the
on-
report. I think everyone on the committee didn't feel comfortable picking a time to meet.
Okay.
only
Jay, if
problem-
you could,
I just want to chime in. The way the report's written is that some of the sections are related. So I think that's one of the things that maybe Jay's sort of concerned about, is if we give you one section, there could have been something in the introduction that sort of led into where Jay and I were on the two schools. So it's just something we need to see how we can put it together if that's what the committee wants.
well, it would be understood that, if there are some standalone pieces, but it would certainly be understood that, you could start with the preface of, it's not complete and there may be some modifications once the complete report is edited and reviewed. But okay, so I guess I'll leave it up to you, Jay, to get in touch with Deb when you think that's going to be ready, Pote, so that then she could have enough time to post the meeting and then have a conversation with you.
Yeah.
Deb, if
That's not,
he sends it to you, can you send it to the members, or does he send it to Greg and Greg sends it to everybody? How are we doing that?
Greg, most things have been funneled through Greg. Either way is
Okay.
fine with me.
I
Okay.
can include, what I'll do is I'll get back to
Both of us.
both Alan and Greg and Deb about how we're handling a preliminary view of the education report. And then, or if we're going to submit the whole thing to you when it's done, and then we'll schedule a meeting to talk about it. So I'll stay in touch with all three of you.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Nice job. Thanks. Thank you very much. I think I covered any information regarding financial consultants report. We did that in the state. There was a thing on pathways to regionalization. Steve's not with us, but was the finance subcommittee going to sort of review that? And I thought I saw an email from Steve that said that some of the sections of that have to be completed by the respective superintendents. So if someone could help me understand that a little better, Paul or Jay, is.
Okay, so, yeah. The pathways document is a guide for the entire process, really, and it's broken up into, I think, 3 parts. The only really required aspect of this that comes to mind for me is that the superintendents, and you're not there yet, but at a certain point in the process, the superintendents have to write a long-range educational plan. And, what is this new entity going to look like? And the Department of Education needs to see that so that they are confident that the obligation to educate the children in your community is being met. So that's one of the things that comes to mind about the Pathways document, but you don't need to worry about that quite yet.
Okay. Mike had brought up that organization.
Yes.
And I think he wanted to, have either the full board or just the finance. I don't know. I guess it'd be a full board that would want to be a part of that. So I'm thinking we might need to dedicate a meeting just to go over that, understand it, and if any board members have questions. your thoughts? Or any board members' thoughts on that?
I have a thought. I would much rather be
Yes.
doing that in person than over this Zoom or anything else. Some things just work
Okay.
better in person. And to me, that's one of
Okay.
them.
And Paul?
Alan, that whole thing is listed on the State Department of Ed website. I don't have the link, but it's all there. And I think all you have to do is type in pathways to regionalization. And it's divided into 4 sections on their link on their website. And one of the sections is just is 4 PowerPoint slides that sort of lay out. And you guys are on the first, you are proceeding along what I would call the first track. I just looked at it quickly now because I'm using it for another report that we're working on, and you people are in the process of getting down to make a decision if this is where you're going to go. So you're on that, but those PowerPoints lay it out pretty well. I'm hesitant to ask Greg if I could share it because I'm not that good, so I'm not sure I want to do that.
Alan,
Greg, you had your hand up.
yeah, I mean, it's over a 200-page document that
Right.
I have not had a chance to kind of go through it. So
But there's just 4 slides that break it all down, if you can believe that.
yeah,
Greg.
it's probably, it seems like it's set out in phases, which makes sense. But you know, I kind of agree with Jane that it's such a big document that it may be okay to wait till we're in person on that one. But
Okay. I mean, I looked at it 2 years ago when I was on the Heart Committee, and you know, it's pretty comprehensive, but it definitely looks like lots and lots of work.
yeah,
All right. Well, thank you for that update then. So we'll sort of put that on hold. But
The pathways document, I mean, I'm a little bit confused about how you want to use it, but we can take a look at that and perhaps provide some advice about what the most expedient way there is to work your way through it when you're interested in doing that. I understand the comment about doing that in person.
yeah, I'm looking at from the perspective of if there are concerns, you know, culture or whatever the various concerns might be that you identify, that if we're looking at the pathways, you know, how do those concerns match up with getting or looking at information or moving it along to see if it's problematic that your concerns are requiring something that will be difficult through the pathways document.
Mhm.
hey, Alan,
Okay.
Greg?
I think Paul was holding something up. I don't know if he was. Paul, were you holding something up that?
Yeah, this basically is the two most important slides. You can't see it. I was just thinking maybe I'll just try to send this to Greg, and if he wants to share it. That's really how the whole thing works. So
Okay.
I'll see if I can copy that and send it to Greg, even before the meeting's done.
Great, thank you.
Excellent. And Jay, you had a comment?
No, I'm all set.
Oh, I thought I heard some. Was it Bill? I heard a
Bill,
Mike.
Mike has his hand up.
Yeah, I just thought I'd say Steve sent something, maybe just the finance subcommittee got it. I believe he sent us part of the phase 1 piece of that document. And what I've been looking at is in there, and it mentions things like identify incentives to regionalize, determine advantages to regionalization, determine the challenges to regionalization. And it does seem to me that what might be useful would be to consider those things after we get the consultant's report. But it seems to me that we all came to this committee with different ideas. I think we all agreed that our respective districts have some problems. We all have some sort of vision about what solutions to those problems might be, but I don't believe we've ever really had a conversation where we tried to come up with any kind of a common understanding or even a comprehensive list of what all those things are. So that we're all sitting here thinking, gee, another district might have X or it won't have Y or something, but what are all those things? And it seemed to me that before we get, at some point, we should go through that exercise. And I agree with Jane, it'd be great to do it in person. I think it would be much better to be able to do it in person. As long as we don't, if it doesn't take another year for that to happen.
Yeah.
But it just seems to me that we really ought to do that at some point, and we ought to be keeping in mind that that's on the horizon, that at some point we do want to sit down and do that, and we can all be thinking individually about, well, what are our answers to those questions? If I had to write down, what do I think the advantages are? What do I think the disadvantages are? What would I say? Some of us may have it very clear in our heads. I'm not sure I do, so.
Okay, that sounds good. And, I do think that would be great to have a meeting in person where we can have it a workshop meeting and break down into groups and have conversations and come back and kind of report out and synthesize the group's thinking. So I've made a note of that can be one of our topics. I don't know when we're going to get kicked out of Zoom. I don't see Abby anymore. Is she just not on my, oh, there she is. Okay, she disappeared, but she's back. She probably never went anywhere. It's just my computer.
It usually gives a notification that we're going to be, that it's running out of time, but I haven't received anything yet, so we'll just keep going.
Yeah. Well, we were in the middle of, was it Deb's meeting? And all of a sudden, boom, we were just gone and everyone just came back. All right, moving on. Then transportation report. I don't see Joanne. Yes. Paul, is that?
I just sent those 2 slides to Greg. So
Thank you.
You want to look at them later.
Okay, I'll forward them on. Thank you.
Thank you. Greg, so the fact that Joanne's not here, I know she was trying to get some answers to some other questions she had. So that means she was not successful yet to?
That would be my guess, yeah. Because I didn't hear from her today, so.
All right. And Mike is not here right now. I was hoping he'd give us kind of an update on how Brian Beck is in this process now, but we will have him on and see if he can be able to join us at the next meeting. The Education Subcommittee met on June 8th. So maybe we could have a quick review of that meeting, and then they might want to make a motion to approve their June 8th minutes. So I'll turn it over to you, Deb.
We had the pleasure of Michael Sullivan coming to our meeting, and he shared a really inspiring document that he had created. I should have asked him when he did this, but of the combination of the high schools together and what the school could look like, just based upon like teachers and staffing. Just, I don't know, made me think of how fragile the staffing is at Pioneer. I always know that, but it just brought it back. And even with the 400 students, they would still be able to have only 10.9 students per teacher, which was just great to hear. And just having a fulsome language program, theater, music, graphic arts. Pioneer only has 1 art teacher now, and listed here there would be 3, including a film digital art, which Pioneer does not have the facility for, and I know Turner's Falls does. So it was great. It was inspiring. I think the other committee members felt that it was inspiring a bit. Right? Give a thumbs up. Thought it was I don't know. It made
Yep.
me want to just maybe want this to happen even more. And it would be hard to imagine someone looking at this and not wanting it, you know, just because it looks the way a fully functioning high school should look, to be honest with you, instead of what's happening at Pioneer currently. So anyhow, so it was great to have him. And then so after that, we did spend some time trying to figure out what our next steps were going to be in terms of reaching out to people. And I think we just kept coming up to the idea we didn't know what the report was going to look like. And so none of us felt like we were in a place to be able to go out into the community and connect with people. Is there anything else I missed, Raina? You took all the notes. All the
Yeah, no, I
minutes.
think that was, yeah, we talked a little bit about, yeah, what the next steps were. And I think there was a lot of discussion around just wanting to see the consultants report first before we reached out to the community for feedback. And also just having a consistent message to the community as well about what our purpose is and what we are, what our mission and what our activities have been.
Deb pointed out very rightly, this didn't address sports at all. I mean, that's another whole wonderful aspect of combining, having Folsom sports team. So I was glad she mentioned that. And then we
Right,
thank
thank you.
have another meeting, so we didn't set up the
Yeah.
time.
Did everyone get that document? I don't recall that. Did Mike only send it to the education subcommittee, or can you send that to everybody?
I'm sure I can, find it. I can send it to, I can send it to Greg, and he can send it to everybody. Thanks, Greg.
Yeah, can you do, okay, that'd be great. And by the way, you had thumbs up on your rendition of what had happened. People, your committee is on board with, they think Mike did a nice job of that's what a comprehensive high school should look like. So that's really good. I thank him for putting that vision into it.
It was
Probably
great
did that
that he
work
was
ahead
there.
of time. Yeah. Do you want to have someone do a motion to approve your minutes for June 8th?
So moved.
Second.
Thumbs up for everybody who was on our committee to approve the minutes. Thanks to Raina.
So you've got 1,
Yes.
2, 3, 4.
And Raina. Vote for your own minutes too, Raina. Awesome.
Unanimous.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you guys. Thanks, Raina.
Thank you. Thank you. Comments, other suggestions, topics? Deb?
Any response from the letters to the staff by principals, so forth? Letter.
So that was going to be coming up when I talked, but let's do that right now. So Abby, I know that at the Pioneer School Committee, so the feedback I got was that the letter was, on point and it was, the right tone and right message to send to the staff. So we asked Mike to send it out as well. We made one modification to the letter that went to Gil Montague. The letter that was written to Pioneer recognized Tanya and had a couple items that were specific to Pioneer. And so to make it a more comprehensive letter, we added some information regarding Joanne and Mike's mini contributions and their administrative team. So we wanted to be sure to recognize them equally to their staff. And then we realized that in putting together now the staff letter and the previous town meeting, update, that we actually had a real good working piece now to share with all of the boards of selectmen. So we did another letter then that really incorporated the information that was in the first letter that was going to be the talking points to towns, the talking points to the staff. And so you can now use that as the document that can go to all the town meetings or and have representatives. I do want to back up to Abby, who was very proactive. She sent the letter to the staff, to the school committee, and she sent the update, or maybe she sent it. Well, I'll let her talk.
I sent it just to the school committee because when I forwarded the email, there was an issue with a couple members on the school committee thinking I had sent it to the whole staff, which I did not do. It did go out to staff last Thursday morning, is what Jonathan said during our meeting last Thursday.
So did you get any feedback? Because that was Deb's question in terms of feedback directly from the staff at either Gil Montague,
No.
if someone has a comment, or Pioneer. Okay,
Hey,
that
Alan,
could be a good thing.
Alan,
I can say that I received it as a staff member of Pioneer through our building principal.
and I would say it's June and they're probably just dying to get on break. So
Yeah.
letter like that may take some time to digest and they just want to go on vacation.
Yeah.
Well, the superintendent suggested that we send it out prior to them leaving on vacation. So we made sure that they did get it ahead of time. Renee?
So I did receive a copy as a staff member at Ernest Elementary School. It came via my principal. And I had received no feedback from other faculty about it or questions, but I can verify that it was sent out.
Okay.
Renee, was it a hard copy that you got or just an email attachment?
Yeah, it was just on the school email system, but it was, a generalized email. So it was sent out to the masses. So everyone received it.
But it wasn't an attachment. It was something that if you clicked on it, you'd be able to see it right away.
Yes.
I'm just curious if people, if they can easily dismiss it and not see it, or.
Yeah, I mean, as everyone's been experiencing, there's been en masse of emails. So again, it's probably got lost in streams in some way. Like some people may have paid more attention than others, or others may have passed it right by. It may not hurt to send it again in the fall. Who knows?
Yeah. So Abby, can we just jump down to the Pioneer School Committee? So you gave an update to the committee.
I did.
Any feedback there?
No, nobody raised any questions or had any comments during the meeting.
Oh. And so you just reviewed the highlights of the letter and?
Pretty much. Yep.
Okay.
And yeah, no feedback from anybody.
All right. I bet you that was a little surprising.
It was. It was.
Right?
Yeah, no, I think it's a good idea to send it again just before school, and we could follow up to say, we'll be reaching out to you. We sent you this letter back in June. Here it is again. If you want to review it, and that'll, give us a chance to re-engage.
Yeah, that's a great suggestion. Yeah, that's good. So the June 16th meeting rescheduled date, they did that today. This is the finance. And so that is going to be, yes?
Pat Shearer has a comment or question.
I have a comment. I just
Where is
wanted
she? Oh,
to,
there she is.
I don't know. I just wanted to tell everyone, Abby did an awesome job at delivering the message to the Pioneer Committee. But I think they were sort of wanting to move this long meeting along. And yeah, thank you very much, Abby. And we'll talk to you later. Didn't you think that was how
Great.
it was? Yeah.
I would agree, and I was fine with that.
Okay, good.
Yeah. No, that's great. That's progress sometimes is little baby steps. So that's really good. So the finance transportation is meeting June 4th at 4:30. And so Lance, did you have any other suggestions, comments, or anything?
No, but that's June 23rd, not June 4th, right?
Right.
Oh, right. How did I write that?
I have a comment.
Thank you.
Greg, would you please put me on that distribution list for the finance? I'm not on it.
What do you mean by distribution list?
When you send out the notice for the finance committee,
Oh,
you're not including me.
Well, okay. So Lance, when you send the agenda, you should send it to the entire committee and CC it to me.
Understood.
Yeah, and that way everybody on your committee gets it. And for committees, I take the agenda and I forward it on to get it posted.
Ah,
Okay, just so you know.
oh, it's Lance I need to talk to.
Okay. I'm just trying to clarify. If I have to start doing all the notifications for subcommittees, I'm going to be kind of out of my mind, I think.
I'll just,
What I've been doing is sending it to Greg for him to insert the invitation or the information for the
Zoom.
the
Yeah.
Zoom. And I've asked him to send it out to the distribution list, but I can certainly, after you insert the contact material, I can send it out to the entire group. It's not a problem.
Sounds good.
If that's the way you want to handle it, Greg. I appreciate you've been doing it for me.
Here, Lance, what you could do is you can send out the agenda the way it is without the Zoom meeting, and then I'll add the Zoom meeting when it's posted. So, I mean, and the invitation will go out.
Send out the invite?
Yeah, the invites will go out at that point.
Okay, I will do that.
well, I can confirm that the last few emails that I've gotten, which have been invites and also meeting notices, have been addressed to Pat and not Jane. And I'm not sure where they originated.
Okay, let me
I've tried
Pat's
to-
not on
when
the
I've-
finance.
Exactly.
She's on education.
I've tried to forward them to Jane, but I think maybe they go to your spam folder or something.
They wind up in my junk mail, but I just marked you, so you shut.
But I mean, I've noticed that at least the last 2 or 3
Yeah,
have been like that.
I appreciate you forwarding.
So I'm
I was
not
on there
sure
originally, so
what
probably
the
that's
what the
why.
origin is, but somehow somebody's
okay.
list.
I'm going from a list. I'm going from our original preliminary committee assignments. So Pat Shear is not on the finance committee, but
Correct.
she's listed in this document as being on it. All right.
Right,
Yeah,
that's
but she's
wrong.
not on it. She's on education.
Okay, I got it.
And
She
that
was on
original
it.
document was created prior to my being appointed to the.
Yeah. Okay, so we got Jane, Lynn, David, Lance, and Mike.
Yes.
Okay. And Pat is on.
And David, isn't David on that too?
I
Or
don't
no?
There it is.
So, and Pat is on education.
Right.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay. Greg, you have an update on the website?
I do. All right. The website is, well, there were a few kinks in it. And thanks to Lance for trying to access an agenda that he couldn't access. So Tina, the tech person at Gil Montague, I believe, has made the fixes so that those documents are open to the public. I didn't see it because first I was granted access. So when I went to the website and accessed it, it worked fine, but I guess it wasn't working for everyone. Just a point of clarification. I think I explained this earlier, but since we have voted to use Gil Montague's website as our official posting site, we do not have to meet the requirement of 48 hours for towns. I send it to towns as a courtesy, as long as the meeting is posted on the Gil Montague site prior to 48 hours, we are all set. Because that's our official posting site. I feel like I want to send it to the towns out of as a courtesy and out of respect, but I've let the town clerks know that it's not, necessary that they have it posted within 40 hours. It's nice if they do. But here's the other flip side. So we do have the flip side that if I send it out early enough and all the towns post it, and for some reason Sabrina doesn't post it in time on the Gil Montague site, then we're covered the other way around. So just so you are clear as to what's going on, we have a little bit of checks and balances so that we're covered one way or the other. Does that make sense? Any questions?
Okay, we covered, thank you. We covered the letter to the staff. We covered the update to the Pioneer School Committee. Any other questions on those two? We talked about now you have a document that you can take to the towns. And I think the presenters or who's going to attend the select board meetings, Zoom or in person, however they're doing it, is Greg, you're Gill, and Deb is Northfield, David or I are Warwick, Lance was Leiden, Jane, you're Berniston, right? And Mike, were you Montague? Yes, you're muted, but I'm hearing you nod. So, I'm seeing you nod. All right, so I'll leave it up to you, each one of you individually, to contact the town administrator or whomever and ask to be on their agenda, and you can forward that to them, and then use that as your base. That's the one that was entitled 6-Town Regional Planning Board for the Town Board Select Boards of Pioneer and Gil Montague School Communities. We all set? Everyone knows what document that is? Okay, thank you. I think we're going to get this done. Other agenda items not anticipated? I'm not seeing any. Oh, yes, I am. Mike.
Well, we were going to possibly approve the financial subcommittee minutes from June 4th.
Thank you.
That's probably why you wrote
Yes.
down June 4th.
Thank you. That's exactly why. I forgot why. Okay, you want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that Finance Subcommittee approve the minutes of our June 4th meeting.
I'll second.
Who seconded? Was that Lynn?
And
Lynn, okay. So Mike and Lynn. So was there any discussion? You want to call for a vote, Mike or Lance? Lance?
All those in favor of approving the minutes for June 4th on the Finance, Transportation, and Facilities Subcommittee, say, stick your thumbs up.
I see.
Looks unanimous.
Unanimous. Okay, let that get recorded as unanimous. And so we had down there July 16th at 6 p.m. the next meeting. How do people feel about that?
What day of the week is it?
A Thursday. For you.
Thank you.
I'll be doing the Zoom meeting from Indiana, Lake Michigan.
Alan, what time were we thinking? I can't remember.
Well, we have 6 o'clock down there. What's their pleasure? Abby says yes.
I like earlier if we can do it.
So 6 is
how
the
often
absolute earliest I can get here, and I'll probably still be a little bit late.
Okay.
Is that okay with folks?
Okay.
All right, so we're looking at 6 o'clock then, July 16th.
Okay.
I wish everyone a wonderful 4th of July. And those of you that were in schools and things are closing out, I hope you really enjoy your summer. Any other comments before I call for adjournment? We did it in 1 hour.
I get the sense Bill wants to say something.
Where is he? I don't see him. Bill,
I'm happy. I'm very happy. You guys did a great job.
did you try to say something and I didn't acknowledge you? I didn't see you?
I didn't hear his
No.
voice the whole meeting.
I'm just smiling.
All right, gotta love it. All right, then I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move.
So moved.
So move.
Deb,
Second.
So,
who seconded?
all right, any other discussion? All those in favor, thumbs up. I see that is unanimous. Thank you, Paul and Jay, for joining us. And woohoo, we did it. You guys all take care. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
Bye to everyone.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, all.
And we never
Bye,
got, we never got shut out of this meeting. That's amazing.
I
Good
know,
job.
I know. I kept looking at my watch going, we got to move, but we did it all in an hour. I love it.
All right, everyone. Enjoy your evening.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Good
take
night.
care. Yeah, bye.
All right.